Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is a Sunday night. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. I have around me some wonderfully fabulous players who are all going to introduce themselves, and then we're going to dive back into all the shenaniganry. I will do my spiel at the end, but directly above my. No, we're going to save you for last. We're going to jump over to the other side of the overlay and start with Dan, because I have a question for you, Dan.
Oh no. Hi, I'm Dan. Welcome. Yes. Questions?
Yeah, well, tell the people at home who you're playing first, and then I can ask my
Oh,
question.
well, all right. Yeah, sure. So I'm playing Siraj Al Andalusi, the everybody's favorite La Sombra, who is possibly unbeknownst to him, or at least no, he's not unaware, but he is perhaps choosing to ignore the fact that he's actually in big trouble. It's just real big trouble, and he's instead he's choosing to see this as big opportunity. Um, and if I remember correctly, so we had some adventures. Last time we played, we some politics happened.
Mm-hmm.
Old timey politics happened. And again, for once, my candidate won. So I'm very proud of that. Um, there was a mission granted to me, which I have a very short time period to do. I distinctly remember a spot of murder at one point. Though to be fair, they came at me first. A bit of the old shadow murder,
Murder or
self-defense.
self-defense?
Yeah, shadow
It's just
self-defense, really. Yeah,
defense. I mean, if
self.
it's like you're not to blame if you kill your assassin because
Right, right.
that's
It's
what.
it's fair play, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. There, it is indeed fair play to kill the person attempting to assassinate you. I will agree with all of that statement. But I have a question
Mm,
for you, Siraj.
yes.
When you left the
Mm,
impromptu party that came out of, the violent and violent removal of an arm from a individual that led to the appointment of your new prince.
yes.
Um, how to phrase this politely? It was a bit of a deal. How did you feel about the fact that you only have 3 nights left to fulfill Lord Lasombra's wishes?
I mean, it's not ideal, all right? It's definitely not the ideal situation. I would have definitely liked to have a few more nights. I'm not, I don't really have a clear estimate on how long this whole process is going to take. For all I know, the responsible party isn't even in the city. Challenged is one nice way to put it. Stressed is definitely another. Um, and as I said, even though he is still actively, it's not just for the bit. He is actively choosing to he wants to I mean, his two choices are shine or die, or possibly become La Sombra's lunch, or even not even a proper lunch, like a pre-lunch snack, honestly, so
Wait, does that make
given
Siraj the aperitivo?
hmm.
yes.
Now, okay, I have a
um
question. Is it
mm,
3 full nights or is it the third night your thing is?
He technically has 3 full nights.
Okay,
there we go.
judging. You know,
Mm,
a third of the time is okay. Good. All right, a little bit.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's feeling the pressure,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at this point. And then also, again, as all this is happening, a clear and direct attempt on his life from honestly the same family, a less pleasant side of the family to spend time with for him particularly, but still his own family technically. So yeah, he's not having a good time, I wouldn't say.
Mm, mm, mm. Hey, Lynn. How are you?
Hey, good, good.
Welcome back. How you doing?
Yeah. Doing very good. I'm happy to be here. Hey everyone, I'm Lynn, Shive, and tonight I am playing Marozia. The and yeah, Marozia is, there's windfalls and there's some stress. There's some, but it's on a in unlike Siraj, it's on a indeterminate timetable, you know?
Mm,
Who
mm,
knows?
mm.
But no one knows that. No one knows there's a timetable there's a pressure happening. Everything's great. Our candidate won, wonderful new positions of possible power, but we'll see, you know. Everything's
Mm.
good right now. Everything is really good actually.
That is correct. Your new prince does not yet have a harpy,
Hmm.
or is Marozia gonna throw her hat in for that social power position of hostess with the mostest?
Maybe. I mean, she would, I think. I think, if the option out there would be an honor, of
Mm-hmm,
course.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Cool, 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 cool. Good to know. Hey,
Hmm.
Billy, how you doing?
Good. I feel like everybody's stressing.
Stressing. That's true. You don't know any of the reasons why they're stressing, though.
No, I just uh beat a guy in armed combat for the princedom of the area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now everyone's going to be peaceful and happy, and all of their issues are going to get dealt with in a timely manner. Um, yeah, really only sunny days moving forward, which is unfortunate for a vampire, I suppose.
Mm, full moon nights, be useful.
Yeah.
You only have a small issue about like there was a demon in the city, now he's not in the city, but instead you have a whole bunch of like, inquisition
But
showing
if
up.
it's no longer the city, is it really your problem now? Is it really?
I feel like that's a federal issue at this point.
Mm,
It's beyond the state's control.
I mean, Motive would be like, if the demon left, it's no longer Sicily's problem. It's wherever it happened to go.
Yep.
mm-hmm. This is true. This is distinctly true. However, the aftermath of that demon is still a problem. Like,
Sure, 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 sure.
a larger presence of like Knights Templar and Knights Hospitaller and bunch of Inquisition are hanging around in your city.
Yeah.
It's a little tense. A lot more guards are out. Fewer people are out at night.
And I think that's just all part of it, because it's just going to be everyone's going to be so moving forward, I think.
I mean, importantly, like, you know what? It is your problem, but it's not your fault. That's the important thing. Not your fault.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, let's start finding scapegoats.
Yeah, yes. Speaking of, how are you gonna do with that, Siraj?
You know, okay, so I actually distinctly remember asking my fellow night dwellers for assistance actually in all this. We kind of did establish a little bit of a pact between us to get right down to just who's responsible for this whole
Yes,
demon
we
business. I
will.
mean, we're all very happy. We're all very happy that the demon situation has been dealt with, honestly, for the best. But it still leaves us in a as our dear storyteller just mentioned, a sort of post demon situation, and with the detail that in fact there was an original source, if you will, right? This is somebody's fault, and the powers that be feel like that this person should get at the very least a rather stern talking to.
We will, we
Um,
we
and
will
and I
certainly.
think it would look very well on the fresh new prince of of the city, that if they were instrumental in bringing to light the person that caused this, right? So with all of that in mind, I think our plan was, I believe Marozia had a storage situation, right? Where or a warehouse situation was it?
Hmm?
That we could use to possibly lure him out, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Or just, infuriation with our good fortune. My good fortune,
Hmm.
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the idea is that we would hopefully get his attention, draw him out, because I don't think we know where he's hiding, but we do know that he's probably got eyes on Marozia, so
Fair.
luring him out through Marozia is probably our best shot.
Mm-hmm. So
That's pretty much the entirety of my plan, however.
I'm not a player, but I feel the need to point out that's not a plan. That's a concept.
That's a strategy. It's a strategy.
Right, no, I mean, but this plan would be technically satisfied. This project description would be technically satisfied by like tying Marozia to the end of a string and holding her outside on the street and hoping for the best. Would still
I,
technically satisfy the requirement for this plan.
I mean,
So,
good news for Sriracha. He's very close. He's very close to finding very close to the person. Just
um, but yes, again, I mean, he's more of an idea guy. Really, kind of brought this up and was hoping for feedback from the rest of the team on how we might achieve this. For he doesn't really, Suraj really doesn't have a lot of info otherwise on this person. The person that knows them best would be Marozia, so he's kind of counting on her to guide us into what might help here.
yes.
So where do we find each of you as night falls in the city of Palermo? September 30th.
I have a question. When you become the prince of a city, do you get your own place, or is it still up to be determined? Because you can still stay
technically,
with Marat.
your haven is your haven, wherever that is. You can make that the center of your court now. Like, theoretically, Tybalt could make that busted ass ruin into, a nice defensible castle and, invest in things. He is supposed to get tribute and, arrange a meeting, a general like meeting hall kind of space where his citizens can come to petition their prince on things that they need. By the way, Tybalt, when you awaken this morning, there's a small pile of rolled little notes kind of at your door.
Great.
Welcome to
how
management.
how many's in a small pile?
Like 12.
Okay. Let's read them.
6 of them are just straightforward. Congratulations on being prince. I look forward to working with you. Yay. Bullshit.
Yeah.
One is from your friend George. Congratulating you on your win again and praising your honor in battle and requesting when he may officially swear his fealty to you. Like, it's like, I've already, when are we going to work this timeline into it? I just need to work my place. And if you need me, do not hesitate to call upon me. You can find me at the, one of the churches in town. Your friend Servatius sent you 2 memos. 1, congratulations on being prince. 2, there are guests in town who are, and apparently a bounty has been placed on this releaser of a demon, and Lord Lasombra is offering rewards, so be prepared for more of them. Also, avoid like this area of town, and he kind of points to what is known as the is a like a fig orchard.
Mhm.
It's a very beautiful area of town. Um, the fig orchard predate, but it's currently known as the uh, Giardini di Giuseppe, named after Giuseppe Garibaldi and the unification of Sicily. So, like, I don't know what its name was prior to that, unfortunately, but the place is still the same. He goes, and avoid this area. I might be doing some house cleaning of, armored individuals. He's being upfront and helpful.
Right. So are these the kind of visitors that I have to meet and greet? That Tybalt would have to meet and greet?
These are the kind of visitors from out of town that you could summon and demand them pay court to you, but you don't have to do anything for them, right? Like, these are vampires who are not sworn to Palermo. They don't reside in Palermo. They're just kind of passing through. They've acknowledged, their presence is being acknowledged by your Nosferatu friend. And your Nosferatu friend is basically fulfilling the most important role a Nosferatu can, which is being the information broker that he is. And provide, just giving you the information. So if you want to demand that they come and pay court to you, that is entirely acceptable. It is also acceptable for you basically to say, you have X amount of days free in this city. After that, we need to have a conversation. And you have to obey certain restrictions, like you can't hunt in this area, you can't hunt these types of people, don't leave a mess, that kind of general good behavior. But given the way, like, it's your city, you can kind of make the rules on how strict or not you want to be. None of these are individuals that, these are people who are following up on Lord Lasombra's bounty on a individual who released a demon in the city. None of these are high-ranking, very high authority vampires within vampire society. They might have titles or abilities outside of vampire society, but within vampire society, they're here for the, clout.
Let's start let's start authority off with some authority. Let's invite them. Let's chat with them. Let's make them hold court. And then if my council would be so kind as to help me greet them, that would be spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Who is your council? Have you decided on this?
Well, the two others in the video call were certain at the minimum. And then names are so hard. The gentleman with, was it the blue wrap?
The green turban.
The green turban, yes.
Yeah, he has also sent you a message.
Okay.
He is fulfilling his duties to Lord Lasombra, but if you need him, contact Duardo. He will find him. And he just signs a child of Hakim.
Okay.
If you ask anyone, you can get information about what that means relatively easily. But yeah.
Yeah, so let's start with summoning them to... Is there there is a place in which Tybalt runs court, so he's no longer in his dilapidated...
Where do you want that to be?
We'll start with what is a decent physical holding.
Okay, so inside the city limits or outside the city limits? I mean, ideally, you kind of want to be inside the city.
Yeah, something central.
Okay, so you want a villa inside the city. There are a couple places I can think of. How big a villa do you want?
Spartan. Not too. I mean, well, for Tybalt's liking, Tybalt doesn't need a whole lot. And so that would be the vehicle in which he would be like trying to emulate is like, all right, what does this position actually need? What do I need to be able to do this? And I'm sure it'll change as he learns because all these
Yeah.
fucking emails happened already.
Look.
No,
It's
that works. You know what? You go into you print stuff, no preconceptions, adjust to what the job don't. Yeah, don't assume what the job is. You'll grow into it, and you'll know what you need. That's much.
So in that case,
Remarkably optimistic of you.
I mean,
very much so. So in this case, I think we'll take a small villa near the Piazza Sant'Iono, which is where, if you remember when we began, that is the piazza, the open space where you entered the underground through one of the statuary, and that was the underground entrance to the aqueduct section that you could hide at, where the Elysium was being held. So there's a small piazza that is across the street, a small villa, palazzo, 3 stories, nice kind of central courtyard in the middle. There would have been less windows at the time, but kind of open street access, that you could have entrance and then control, but relatively easy to have an upper floor for personal office space and a lower public gathering area. But it's across from this open unplanned area, open lot section that was where a bunch of Roman ruins are and no longer are, but it gives you this ability to be more centrally located, particularly where people know where you are, and be kind of located near where people are already used to going.
I love how you put like a real Google Maps like, to what this place looks like.
Fun fact, Palermo, inside the historic section of Palermo, has not changed.
Which is cool.
Just the names have changed. Literally, you're like, ooh, that street is currently called the Via Teatro Garibaldi. It wouldn't have been called that in the Middle Ages period because, it was changed the name after Garibaldi and the unification. But other than that, that building has been there since the 13th century.
Damn.
And that's the other reason why, the church is all up in your business is because, fun fact, there are currently 80 churches in the city of Palermo in the year of our Lord 2024. In the 13th century, 70 of them already existed. I'm not sure exactly how many of them were in exactly by 2031, somewhere between 65 and 70. So
they all have vacancies now, so
yes. And some of these churches were actually just, the wealthy families had their own chapels and their own attendant priests. Wealth in Sicily. But yes, so this building would have been there, and that those gardens, open flat garden space, the piazzas in front of that building, as you walk towards the water, would have also been there. They're actually Roman ruins of Roman period. They were re-landscaped during the Victorian period in the 19th century, but the piazzas themselves were still there during the 1230s. I love how easy this is. I can just pull up the live map. So the building is relatively plain. It's got stucco on the outside, some brightly painted shutters, red, yellow, blues, some purples are kind of thrown in there to kind of just give it some vibrancy and life. Everything is red terracotta tile work roofs. It just is. You're lucky you're on the other side of the island. You don't have to worry about this, Etna problem. Anywhere on the eastern side of the island and southern side of the island suffer from the anytime Etna's going off, their roofs and their building get covered in soot and ash.
Great.
But you don't have that problem because you live on the north coast, away from the prevailing winds, and you're close to the water. So you have a new location. There are, like Servatia said, there are 6 individuals that you could summon. 3 of them will not be I am telling you this now. As the GM. 3 of them will not be showing up in this session because they're becoming their Team Low Clan. And Team Low... I'm not playing out 3 other player characters.
That's fair. I'm gonna summon them anyways.
That's fair, but they're gonna be delayed.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can have their summoning happen, but they're just not gonna show up tonight. It'll show up tomorrow night. Which is not outrageous.
Pope's
right?
ready to go. Pope is ready to go.
I mean, give me 30 seconds and I can change an overlay.
Pope is sitting back, ready to go. I love it.
Crossover. Apparently. This is when you demand tributary money, and it's like taking forever. We got.
We can start early. So we're gonna start summoning. I'm assuming you're gonna start summoning your council first.
Yeah. And I'm not knowing their exact locations. I'm sure that there are people that do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try to find those people, talk to those people.
Well, you wouldn't know where Marozia and
Been to Marozia's place.
And you know where Siraj and Marozia are hanging out together.
Oh. 2 birds. 2 birds. Well then, I'm just gonna physically pay them a visit. I'll summon myself.
I mean, that's fair.
I feel like Tybalt's a hands-on person.
The minute you go to leave your dilapidated ruin, you will find that Duardo himself is hanging outside your door, like just kind of waiting at the edge of your little like portcullis,
Oh. How long have you been out here?
Not long.
Okay.
But he's not going to talk to you because he can't.
Right. Well, if you must know, I'm going to transition to a new villa, and I'm going to seek the assistance of friends. So, do as you will. And then Tybalt's going to bolt.
He is going to follow you.
What? Did someone tell you to follow me? What is the... Sorry, what? What did you do? It's that thing that you were doing with your arms. You would... Like a... Are you a bodyguard or are you spying on me?
He starts nodding when you say bodyguard.
Okay, you did see me almost take the arm off of my challenger yesterday, did you not? Okay. I just think that there might be better uses of your time.
He just kind of looks at you like, dude, you're the prince. You get a bodyguard now.
Okay.
Chow, in the strong sense of, he tries to convey through gestures, and this is where we realize that how much of Italian and Sicilian is just hand gestures, which is great. He's like, not for fighting a challenge, but for assassins.
So that is something I have to worry about a lot now.
Not sure, but he was, informed that it might be an issue.
Well, okay. Is there anything I can do for you, or do you just kind of take care of yourself? Okay. I'm going to go this way now, and then he'll head to the place where Marozia and Siraj are hanging out.
Which is Marozia's warehouse, I believe. Correct?
I don't like staying at the house, so like that's...
Oh yes, you can stay at your house.
Yeah. That's
I
probably
can always
where...
say yes. Suraj would definitely like made. I mean, he wasn't staying there. He was staying at his place, but we can definitely say,
Yeah.
he's all in on this investigation. The moment night fell, probably Borussia would have been barely out of bed, and there's already a knock at the door. So yes, he would definitely be found there.
All right.
And otherwise, yeah, he would just have been, recently arrived and just doing his all the basic pleasantries and kind of getting around to the so what's our plan kind of conversation.
Just to remind me, we do know that Siraj has 3 days. Or have you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When he
Okay.
said he did say we had a very specific deadline. So
Yeah. Well,
yet another reason why he would have been there at the crack of dusk.
yeah, it's like, oh, like, well, I shouldn't have be surprised. You are on a rather strict time limit, so I think I can help you with.
Very, very indeed. So I'm hoping that with your help and hopefully the help of the prince, well, I mean the new prince. Hopefully we now since we have his attention right from the beginning, when he before he has been taken over with all the duties of his station, we will be able to command the bulk of his attention and just get right to the bottom of this. Yes.
Yes, and the machine of bureaucracy and whatever we need is sure to be a little easier now that we have power to push around, so to speak.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Well, hopefully, I suppose we should go and find him now. Yes.
Yes. Imagine that the henpecking has already started.
Just probably a good time for Tibble to be knocking at the door.
Hopefully, it didn't take me that long to get over there.
No. Yes. I think someone will let you in, and Moritz will be like, "Oh, speak of the devil, we were just talking about you."
Duck his head, walk through the doorway.
Eduardo does not enter. He kind of just stands outside and off to the side.
It's your new friend.
So this is just happens now. He's following me around and protecting me from things. That is news to me. I just found that out, so I live with that now.
Protecting you. That must actually be a really cushy job because
that is what
you know
I
what
said. I feel like, there could be a better use of his time, not to touch on the border of arrogance, but it is in my nature to do so. So the first day on the job, I've got some letters, but I also wanted to ask both of you to help counsel me through this and position and navigating good and bad decisions, because I feel like one of my weaknesses is not giving a shit what anyone else thinks, and it has been made apparent to me that that might be a problem.
Well, I of course would be honored to offer my services to our new prince.
And I personally find that your lack of giving a shit, as you say, inshallah, was honestly my favorite part of your platform. So you have my full support, of course.
How many missives and notices, letters have you gotten so far?
Well,
Oh, 12.
not 6 of them were congratulatory, and I don't know what to do about that. Do I throw them out? Do I save them in case they stop by?
Royalty will kind of just reach out her hand.
Right.
If you
Don't think I know any of these people.
Yeah. I think what Royalty will do is like kind of like any of these would be beneficial for Tybalt. Also rank the other missives in their importance as well, as far as like from immediate to don't bother.
Oh, well, thank you for your insight there. And then I found some interesting ones, that there are several bounty hunters looking for the person who released the demon. Uh, and so I sent out summons to them to come. I feel like if territory is a present and real thing, that they should know the territory that they are hunting in.
Yes, and to get the character of these hunters and see if we can ascertain their efficacy here. Don't want novices or ill-trained people running around here doing damage here to your new kingdom here, city.
I feel like that is where protection starts, because once things get chaotic with them, we let things happen with these hunters, then there will be no standard set for other people to come in and do whatever they want.
And who knows, they might have information that she'll be looking at Siraj that might be helpful for you as well.
Well, I do understand that there is such a concept as too many cooks, right? At the same time, we are on a bit of a time schedule, and well, perhaps the benefit of more hands and more eyes looking could outweigh any immediate awkwardness,
Oh,
perhaps. So I beg that we be lenient in accepting any help that we can. Normally, I would say have a detailed and deep vetting process, of course, but at the same time, well, there are powers and there are powers, right? And well, one of them very much wants a result.
mm. And that power wouldn't mind if the problem was taken care of a third party rather than would you that get you off the your strict timetable?
Lord La Sombra wants results.
Mm.
If my involvement helps bring those results, all the better, and I will, of course, take my due measure and pride in that. But all I care about is, for Lord La Sombra, his results.
Well, results is something I can get behind, but there is an inherent responsibility to this city of Palermo.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, and if I did not have faith that your abilities, as well as direct as they have been, could not achieve this goal, and of course, if Lord La Sombra did not believe that it was possible for the kindred of the city to achieve this, surely he would not have laid this goal on us.
Not to bring up any sort of complications, but what happens if he left Sicily?
Hmm.
Would you
Well.
have to
See,
chase?
the
Go
request
ahead.
was quite clear. I must deliver ahead, if you will.
Mm.
Should we discover that he has left, well, I suppose then I should start packing my bags.
Ah, his head or your head? Oh, yeah. Hint.
Whose head? So
Ludovico's
are
head.
you telling me if we do not find this demon setter outer that your head is going to be presented to La Sombra?
My head is always, of course, at Lord La Sombra's beck and call, but well, he generally does not suffer failure kindly. He has given me a time frame, and the final results of failing within that time frame are uh, understood. Let us say that.
And the time is
Well, counting to night, yes, exactly, three. The tonight being that first one, yes.
okay. Well, I put out the summons, so uh, how can I help you tonight?
So that's where we like kind of turn to Marozzi and go, so the fact that you bring up that he might have left town, does this mean that you have information to that regards, or?
No, just bring up any possibilities of
All right, it
where.
sounds to me like that is the kind of possibility we should lock down very quickly. Is
Mhm.
it possible to find out if he has left? I believe that is a good first step.
Well, he would certainly not want to be. There's a certain level of quality that he would travel in without fail. So you can cross off being smuggled out in some way. So if any of the dock workers has seen him leave on the ship, you would know.
All
And
right,
that's
do we
something
have
that
a
we can
good
check out.
good yes. If we have a good description of him,
Mm.
definitely we can visit the docks and at least confirm whether he has left or if he's still in the city. That
Mm-hmm.
couldn't take long. Once that is done, however, do we have any ideas of if he is in the city, where would be the most likely places? I am assuming if he is a man of means and that has certain tastes, then perhaps certain parts of town are less likely than others.
Yes, and no doubt he has old friends here as well.
Uh, I hate to lean heavily on only one person's expertise, but well, you are our expert on the target.
Yeah, well, I unfortunately know the person here that maybe knows the most about him at this small group, so or one that would not have any sort of motive to like hide him away from you. So, and I can try and give you as much information as I can, knowing that of course that he would want to keep certain things out of my knowledge. So, but I can be help where I can.
I sincerely appreciate. I mean, after all, you have your own reasons to want this person dead. Yes, he did. After all, kind of explode a demon in your face.
Yes,
Feels a bit personal. That
quite.
in that case, I'm glad to have you on my team, and both of you. Honestly, I fear sincerely that were it not for the aid that I am receiving, this job would be impossible. In fact, I wonder if perhaps Lord Sombra, in his wisdom, it truly gave me this such a short timeline because he knew I had such staunch allies. Yes, surely.
I did have a question for you. Just I'm gonna be a little bit self-serving here, but is there anything that he can do to me without the demon being here? Like I'm just afraid of reprisal of that nature. Mundane, him attacking me, sending people after attack to get at me, I can take care of, but anything demonic, I don't know.
Well,
That's had me
let
worried.
me assure you, Marotia, that if you are on my council, you're going to be protected by hopefully the other members of this council, and myself included.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
So shall we field summons, or should we go investigate?
No, yes, we can. Maybe we should meet. We should greet this. Greet our summons and corroborate our information. More eyes looking out for him, the better. And I would like them to be as informed as possible.
Definitely.
Right.
As eager as I am to get to the docks, the more people that we have on the same proverbial page, the better.
Marotia, are you comfortable hosting until my villa gets set up?
Oh, absolutely. Good to be of service. I can have it set up. I can have the main room set up to be your temporary area of work, so to speak.
Well, okay. Who do I notify that we're ready to receive summons? He'll just like peek around the door.
Eduardo raises a hand and says, gives you a thumb up in 30 seconds, and this is where your wonderful GM shows you the magical powers of things that can happen behind the screen. Give me 3 minutes, everyone, and be prepared for a surprise.
Yay!
Time
Hi, we have a guest. I feel like this is an appropriate moment for me to begin with mentioning the layout for a good standard. This is asking Marozzi, actually, how do you arrange this greeting hall for Tybalt?
Tybalt, his strength at this point. So we'll have him like have it pretty sparse. Just have him at the one end of the room, and then at a higher elevation, and then we'll have chairs, some nice furniture laid out for anyone that is in this here area.
So chairs. All right.
Chairs.
How many?
We will have 3 for the petitioners and stuff like that, but we'll be up with Tybalt, of course.
Oh, and so you're standing arranged neatly. I'm assuming a very nice, not quite throne, but a substantial statement
nice
chair.
It's a statement chair, yeah, like something not highly decorated, but just very strong looking.
What's the weight limit on that?
We'll
fancy
find
chair?
we'll find the most dense, the strongest looking chair in Palermo. We'll find that for you.
Yeah, it's what happens when you're a large framed individual.
I live with a carpenter. You'll be fine. They made chairs back then that you could have somebody of immense size doing vigorous activity whilst seated and not worry about the chair.
Yep. The chairs are quite strong. The wood was better.
You know what we'll do? Maybe we'll have it like we won't have chair, but we'll just stand.
So the two of you are going to stand on either
I think so.
side. He's going to have a chair in the center. And then are you going to have chairs for the petitioners or just have them stand as well? Or like benches along the side for the viewers and then let the petitioners
You know what?
stand?
We'll have you know what? No chairs. They'll stand. They'll say what they're. This is mostly for also Tybalt's benefit of like limit the amount of bullshit that's happening here.
By the way, Eduardo has stationed himself like off the riser, because it's like probably just like a couple of steps and like a small platform. He's kind of stationed him off to the left, stage left of the platform, acting as a bodyguard. Looks like a pirate, but acting like a bodyguard. And I think to make this interesting and fun, we will have the first individual to arrive at your summoned, well, what do we call this? Hearing of petitioners? Open court is what it's called.
Yeah. Also important. Any sort of like textile rugs are gone. So it's going to be very quiet. Just like those steps are going to be quite loud.
Also prevents blood. Don't have to clean up any blood.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to clean tile than it is, rugs. Wool, silk, very hard to get blood out of. Tile, so easy. Plenty of salt water. So I think this is the perfect time, Tybalt, for you to describe yourself. Again, for the viewers at home. And then we'll let everyone else describe themselves as how they're arranged before we get to our petitioner.
So Tybalt is still wearing his old dilapidated, rusted chainmail with like bits and pieces of mismatched plate armor. He's a remarkably imposing figure at I believe 9 feet tall, and I think that's what I wrote down. Like obviously above the spans that a normal human can reach through genetics. Um, and you could tell because the armor is ill-fitting. Uh, so it's just not on his priority list to update and get new sized armor, and probably also a distinct lack of resources until recently. Um, Long red beard with short hair that has been pressed back. Parts of it are matted and messy. Um, as he stands at the doorway, um, trying to decide whether he wants to put his fists on his hips or clasp his hands in front. Perhaps he wants to put his hands behind and stand in a very militaristic stance. So first time you encounter him, he is shifting his hands between those three
Question,
positions.
Maurizio, bring up, do you want the sword or not with you?
Uh, I mean, I feel for effect that it would be good to have. And to give me something to do with my hands.
Yes. And it it leans more into your strength, so.
Then he'll take the sword and hold it in front of him with like the tip touching the floor, and then he'll have his shield like on his back. Welcome, thank you for coming to the beautiful city of Palermo.
And then Siraj, which side are you standing on?
So, I mean, in terms of what side physically he would stand on, and what it would mean, he has no idea. He's honestly, as has been proven time and time again, not that much of a political animal. So he probably would have stood wherever, honestly, wherever he was kind of guided by Marozia. Here's the problem that I'm seeing. I don't know how Marozia arranged the lighting in this room. But the end result of however it was supposed to be, the end result that is being seen by people is sort of a lopsided situation where whichever side of the room Siraj is honestly straight up lurking in. He really cannot
You know
help
what?
but lurk.
That's,
Yeah,
you know what? We will do it this way. We'll have it so that most of the lighting is directly on Tybalt, and there'll be like a little bit behind. So if you want, we can kind of go in and out, recede in and out as
yeah, because
needed.
I mean they would have tried most surely to lay out the lighting in a more
Mhm.
even situation, but they kept going out
There's
next to Siraj just constantly. Yeah, and the time for the meeting was about to arrive. You had to improvise somehow.
there's a
So
there's a yeah,
yeah,
there's a little bit of like theater lighting happening here.
yeah, it's a little lopsided, and so
Hmm.
in the more shadowy side, doth lurk a slight man. Honestly, he's not physically imposing. He's not terribly tall. Next to I guess his prince, for lack of a better. He's honestly not sure how he ended up, how he literally stumbled upward into a council position, but here he is. Um, but in terms of a physical comparison, he is a tiny shadow next to the very physically imposing prince. He is dressed pretty much all in black, very much in the manner of a Muslim cleric of the time, but with again very focused on darker fabrics. He's wearing a dark turban, and in addition to the fact that he's simply standing in shadows, his eyes are covered as if by a band of cloth, and he appears to be looking, for lack of a better word, or just facing sort of vaguely in the direction of the room. And he stands quietly, his sort of hands together, not moving much, um, and a kind of a cipher otherwise.
And into this situation, we get Sir Ludain.
A Scotsman, 6'1", well dressed in the fashion of the time. Not in any form of armor, but is wearing his spurs. Walks up, takes a half bow. As requested, I am Sir Ludain, presenting myself to this court.
Thank you for coming on short notice. I would like to inquire about the nature of your mission here in Palermo.
He seems somewhat caught off guard. Your Highness, I thought it known that the Lord Lasombra, to whom this island belongs, has issued a bounty for the individual who brought the church here by unleashing something unspeakable. I personally have little interest in this because political realities state that the individual is likely fled, and the church does not care who is responsible. They just want a pound of flesh. And as for the Sombra, well, he definitely does care. I have it on good authority from speaking with the locals that at least one member of your court is on the investigation, and should he fail, well, the Sombra will get his pound of flesh.
And I believe that your mission and ours are aligned, and perhaps we can communicate and share resources and perhaps even talent to get this dealt with swiftly and efficiently. Seeing as this is a new position for me, I have a responsibility to this region to try to get this dealt with as quickly as possible.
Pardon me, Your Highness. Have you spoken with Servatius? He is very wise and very put together, and I think if you were to inquire, he would advise you well as to how to free yourself of at least the church. As to actually finding the culprits, well, that requires more arcane means, I believe. As the last night when I went searching, I found something quite different than one of our kind.
Oh, please do go on. And the information is vital.
We see the political situation here in Palermo is not as settled as I was led to believe. In one of your local churches, there was a concert. Quite lovely. Not necessarily a piece of music I would associate with a holy establishment, but enjoyable nonetheless, especially with the acoustics. But an entity I thought possibly lost to the mists of a different age was in that church singing. If it wasn't for one of my companions, Myself and 2 members of your court would likely have been claimed by the sun.
Hmm. Is there anything that we can provide you to aid you in either placating the church or getting the pound of flesh from the intended target?
Placating the church is easy. Again, find your most rabid amongst the kind, those that have caused the city trouble, and give the myriad young men who are looking for violence a reason to suspect them. And you will find those troublesome kind of your city will have been whisked away in the night, possibly hanged, more likely not to be found for some time after, in far worse condition. And then the church will leave, having presented itself as the arbiter of justice in Frederick's city.
Council? He'll look to his left and his right.
He'll quietly walk up to Hill and just like, that is something we can take into serious consideration.
Suraj remains silent for a moment till he sort of realizes that you're actually expecting counsel from him, and he frowns. I find myself with little desire to give the church the kind of results that I would put in for Lord La Sombra. May Allah bless his name. I, if we can find the proper kind deserving of the punishment, well, sacrifice is valid enough. If it will get the church out of our way, for we have much higher and more important goals, those that Lord La Sombra has required of us.
Much to consider, but I do like where this is going. But if we can touch reality for a second, I, as an individual, am not interested in placating the church as I am capturing who is responsible for letting this demon out, even though they might be far gone. It is important to Lord La Sombra and members of my council and my guest Sir Ludain that we actually deliver the culprit and not play these games of placating the church. The plan is unwise, I see.
If I may, Your Highness.
You may.
I take it you're not familiar with the Inquisition.
I have not dealt with them, no.
First are feelers amongst the kind. Then come those who know of us. sometimes intimately, and are exceedingly good at finding and killing us. Some say they have God on their side, placating the church for the sake of kindred and kind is far greater a priority than hunting one who trucks with the fallen. Their soul is already forfeit, and if the shadows are to be believed, the children of Hakim already stalk the night for said individual. So, his blood is already forfeit.
How many children of Hakim are there?
He switches to Arabic. As many as the sons of Abraham.
And Tybalt will say, can you repeat that in a language I understand?
Certainly, Your Highness. As many as there are descendants of Abraham. The children of Hakim are legendary in being talented and as numerous as shadows.
So then placating the church is the top priority.
Yes, Your Highness.
Well, then the church shall be placated. Siraj, Marotia, let us make contact with kind that we can part with.
I believe, Your Highness, if you do contact Servatius, he will have a list for you.
He might have a list, but sometimes things seem to be too convenient.
One should not look an old Roman who has been here as long as he has, as less than the gift that he and his clan are to our race and to this island.
Sir Ludain, you have been of great help this evening. I wish you well on your hunt, and if you find yourself looking to lay roots in Palermo, I will make space for you under my council.
That is exceptionally gracious, Your Highness, but I do not wish to stay on this island longer than is required of me. I find its political climate stifling, and the politics, well, I have already seen what happens when the inexperienced come to hold crowns. I do not wish to repeat my own history.
I can respect that. But some of us are trying to make change outside of the rat race.
A noble goal, Your Highness. You need to get familiar with your city and the kindred within it quickly. Or I think you will find that that crown isn't a crown. It is a noose. I wish you a good evening, Your Grace.
He will return the quarter bow that Sir Ludain has offered in the beginning of our meeting.
He will bow again, rise, and at an even pace, walk the hell out.
Oh, before you leave, Sir Ludain,
He stops mid-stride.
have you made any progress in finding the perpetrator of the diabolic summoning?
He doesn't turn back to look at you. He just says over his shoulder, "Oh, good Rose, oh, good Rose. You know the face of the one who released the thing. If anyone is to find them, it's you."
Well, good luck.
With that, he walks out.
And as soon as Sir Ludain walks out, you might still be able to hear it. It's like Tybalt will turn to Marozia, like, well, I think that went pretty well.
Had some notes on civic problems, but unfortunately it was less than satisfactory on the other matter. If you look at Siraj.
Yes, she's frowning lightly. But then again, he did give us some slightly sing-songy confirmation that I've chosen the right partners on this hunt. Clearly, that is one way to see this as yet another blessing. Well, with all that in mind, it sounds like we have a few priorities. I still feel like, and he looks, sort of like turns his head and goes, still feel like, well, I would hate to call this the only steps I take on these, the first of 3 nights. I hate to keep bringing that up, for I understand that we have so many other priorities. And my prince, of course, I know that your first priority is to the city itself, and I understand that placating the church. Well, I'll be honest. It would be very nice to be able to go down to these docks without fearing that on the way there, some overly excited inquisitor might take one look at me and decide to test their luck. I mean, it will go very badly for them, but I've been messy enough the past couple of nights. I'm honestly, I'm under some amount of pressure.
Right, right. And so then we can hunt for 2 things. I can make contact and find a list of kind that we can offer up to the church to placate them, and then perhaps you two can hunt for your target and we can reconvene on the morrow.
And Suraj will actually tilt his head in sort of Marotia's direction, like, if you are willing, I would certainly appreciate the company. As you know, the people are not exactly always my expertise, and I fear for my own luck were I to go trying to ask questions in that part of town all on my own. I mean, I will get the answers, yes, but nobody involved will be happy about how it goes.
Muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Well, Yes. Well, once duties here are taken care of, and some things I can look at, of course I would of course.
Thank you, thank you. In that case, let me just, and he kind of like scoots his seat back further into the shadows. I will just get out of your way. Will you clean up?
And I think that's where we're going to take the break for the evening. Thank you, Sir Pope, for joining us as Sir Ludane, coming in very clutch in that moment, and
Yeah,
for letting us
super
interrupt
dope.
your dinner. But we're going to take a break, change things back up again, and we'll see you in a few, everybody.
Eh.
Bye bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you're refreshed, stretched, bio, did all of the good stuff. As you can see, we changed the overlay again. Our wonderful guest, Pope, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing Sir Ludain. If you want to see more of Pope, you can come back next week when Team Lowclan has their series finale. And I'm sure that everything's going to be fine for them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, Billy had to leave us because Billy needed to get some sleep. He needs sleep. Also, if, you are Billy's boss out there in the internet, you could maybe, possibly let him work more civilized hours. Just saying. Just saying. So we can game more often for longer periods of time. But as such is the world. But tonight we're back with Team Hunting Down at the Docks. So how do you plan to go about this? What are we doing? Where are we going with this?
I mean, this was Meryl's suggestion, so I'm mostly letting her take the lead. But Siraj is also, yeah. As we go, he'd probably be asking her like, so I understand. We need to question people. To be fair, not a terribly experienced travelers, so. I'm guessing if you know which kinds of boats, which area of the docks, perhaps they'd be more likely to have seen your, well, let's just call him your friend for easy convenience here.
We should probably check the passenger shippers. Also, if you wouldn't actually mind doing this, talk to some of the workers, see if they have any private ships with Ludovico's description on it, because that is the other alternative. He has brought his own way in and out of Sicily.
I can certainly try and approach them. He looks visibly nervous at the idea, but at the same time, you see him sort of like stiffen up his back. Very well. Yes, we can. I will get some answers. Now, can you read once again? What exactly does he look like?
She will give just tall, just carries him like extremely Romanesque in dress and manner. Short hair, dark brown hair, strong nose, regal attitude, that sort of thing. Maybe also he came in the stead of musician, so if there's anyone that had heard playing or had some sort of somebody with an instrument of some sort, any large boxes like that would also be ways that we can identify him.
Very well. All right. I think that's enough. And he's honestly at this point, yeah, especially if we're splitting up, yeah, he would have brought his his faithful manservant Hecuus along at that point.
Wait, we have a name for him now?
Oh, hey,
I mean, I don't think his name is going to really be Hecubus. Not sure if that's a proper in period name, but that's what he is in my heart.
Now I just need to look up, because it could be. Because Hecuba is, I mean, like, Hecuba is the wife of Priam of Troy, so it would be a period, depending
It's
on
a
how old
name.
he
It's
is.
been around, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's a name that's been around. They could have had that as a name.
You know what? Sure. Let's go with it.
I also appreciate the reference, and I give you massive credit for it.
Good. I'm glad at least someone gets it. Um, but yeah, he would place a hand on his servant's shoulder and go, "All right, lead me on to the docks." And then with a visible shudder, let me do the talking.
Mm-hmm. Um, so I need you then to roll perception streetwise to
All
find
right,
somebody to do the. He
Yeah.
doesn't have stats, so you have to roll yours.
No worries. Let me see here. Perception is good. Streetwise, I don't. Do I even have any? I do. No, I don't. So even I don't think that's. I don't think that's officially a ability in the Dark Ages one.
What? Oh, not streetwise. Survival.
Okay. All right. I have no dots in that either. So, no, this is not going to be great. So this is since I don't have any dots, it's a minus
Or-
one to my dice pool, right?
Well, you could also probably get. You could use investigation.
All right. Investigation is certainly a much better dice pool for me
Yeah.
there.
You could use
Sure. All
investigation
right.
because
All right.
streetwise
Perception plus
isn't
investigation.
Here. Yeah, perception
And
investigation.
I'm gonna cool. I'm gonna go ahead and spend a willpower on that because Siraj is mightily motivated here. And as I go, it's a quick second. I think one of the levels of tenebration is specifically for like bonuses for this sort of thing. And I really should have had that PDF open to Obtenebration to see. But let me see here. Okay. Do a quick search. Apologies. Viewers should have had that ready to go. But my bad. Page Obtenebration on. Oh, 190. Okay, 200. Got it. Yeah. Okay, finally found it. Sorry for that.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
takes
Shadow
forever.
Play, I think it's the most. Yeah, I think it's literally just level 1
Mm-hmm.
and gives me bonuses. Yeah, that's Intimidation and Stealth. Okay, so that, I mean, not this is not for this roll. I'm just like once I find somebody, what I'm gonna do. So okay, cool. This is gonna be for later. Nothing that actually affects this roll right now. So let me just roll that, and I will be spending willpower on it.
So one automatic success.
Yes. And that is 6 die. So roll 66.
10. 60, 10.
Oh, geez, yeah. Oh, good, because that roll was horrible.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
not playing.
Okay, there we go.
I've
That's
been
better.
working on a D6 system, so I've got D6 on the brain. But also, that's a pretty good roll. Let me
Good roll.
roll that 10.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a much better roll. Okay,
So for
that's-
4 successes.
cool.
With 4 successes, your manservant Hecubus, who is very, very evil, takes great pride in spoiling the end of novels. Hates petty street magic. You gave it to me. You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, no. Please enjoy.
He it doesn't take him long to find a relatively sober, and this is the important part, right? Like it is after dark and close to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning at this point, right? You're close to Louds, and anyone who's on the street is probably been partying a little bit. He's managed to avoid the attention of any of the larger presence of guards that are near like the major port, docks, and the portmaster's office and that kind of thing. He finds a individual by the name of Sergio, who is A, sober, and B, mm, while he is a dock worker and he is built like a dock worker, he is also very. You can see he's scribbling on like a loose piece of papyrus, and just like making notes. Occasionally, he would stare off into the distance and then write something down, embracing his artistic side in some manner. And Hecubus would lead you up to him and then like position you in such a way that it's very obvious that you are the focus of the conversation, not him. And just kind of not step back because he's still your guide, but like pull like his shoulders and upper torso back behind you so that it gives the impression as if he'd stepped back from the conversation. And this Sergio looks up at you, doesn't really stand up. He goes, Signore?
Hello. He pats his manservant's shoulder slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so very much. Yes, excuse me. Sorry, but I hope I am not interrupting. I asked my manservant to find me somebody who could help with I have a problem. I have a very large problem, and I am certainly hoping that you can help me. This not going to take more than a moment, but I need to know. I am looking for a man. I am looking for a man that may have left very recently, as in last night or even earlier tonight.
Did he steal your wife?
And he paused, kind of things. My friend, if I were to tell you the true litany of all the sins this man has committed against me, we would be here until dawn, and neither of us has time. I need to know. There is a man, and he looks like, and proceeds to blarf in exquisite detail the physical description of the man we're looking for. If you or any of your friends, anyone has seen him, I am in desperate straits.
It sounds like he's a horrible asshole.
You could say he's a real devil.
I've heard of. The name sounds familiar, mostly because he sounds Roman, and Romans are all assholes. I mean, do we understand? All those northerners belong to each other, and there's so many of them now that Frederick is going to be making his home here. It's good that we are the center of the world, because we should be. We are Sicilians, and therefore we are the center of the world. But, these Romans, they come down, they steal our jobs, they make life horribly, horribly complicated. Honestly, they bring all of this. They don't respect any of the traditions. They don't respect the food. Do you know that I honestly caught one of them trying to put an anchovy in the pasta with a tomato sauce? This is lemon. You lemon with the pasta in the fish. You don't put tomato with not in an anchovy. You put the salmon. You put the bigger fish, right? You don't need the sardini. And he will go off on this for a couple minutes, but he will eventually circle.
Sinatra will let him, and just he'll never outright agree with anything. It's just gonna be like, I could go on. Mm-hmm. Like I could have so many comments to say on that as well.
But he sounds familiar. I remember because you said he dressed wealthy, and there's a wealthy Roman who did come through recently. He hasn't left. That is his ship, and he kind of points down to a rather large galley, slightly ostentatious, like somebody put gold gilding on the figurehead. A very beautiful woman. But you see perfectly in the dark.
Yes, but Siraj is also not about to let on that he can see by following the dude's, where he's pointing. So he just kind of stays still and he just kind of like pats again his manservant on the shoulder, who makes a point of looking in that direction and then murmuring, just mumbling under his breath. Like,
so you yourself don't look. Okay.
Yeah, no, I myself don't look until there is like an act, like I am effectively led to to point in that direction.
So when you're led and pointed and you see perfectly in the dark, the figurehead on the ship is very distinctive looking. A woman dressed well for the period, but bound with, looks like the shawl coming down her shoulders binds through her wrists and pulls the wrists back to the ship. And it distinctly is it's a very distinctive moment because, well, that's Morozia as the figurehead on this ship.
Well, that's definitely kind of paints a spotlight on that. Like, all right, cool. So that guy definitely wasn't fucking with me.
But I do remember he hasn't left because that thing's a piece of shit. It looks very ostentatious. And then he kind of looks back at you and realizes that you have a blindfold on. It's like that moment of like, oh wait, you don't actually see. Sorry, it's an ostentatious piece of shit boat, but it's ostentatious in taking on water, so he can't leave yet. He keeps trying to get one of us to come and fix it for free. Free. Well, Roman can pay. Yeah, none of us are gonna fix that shit for free. I'm not diving below a water line to fix your bilge for free, motherfucker. The Romans can pay. But I don't know where he's staying.
You need to value your labor. It is important. It's true. But thank you again. He kind of like does a little quick nod. He doesn't like bow, but he's like again. Thank you. You have been more helpful than you know. May Allah bless you tonight, every night. You have no idea the good that you have done. Not just for me, but for many. May Allah multiply your blessings. And please, he puts again his hand on his servant's. Hekibus, please come, let us go. And we'll start being led away.
And he's gonna
with
pick
the
up
intention of kind of taking the roundabout way towards Marozia.
He will go back to his scribblings, and then pick up the wine that was next to him, and then just have a drink as he goes back to his scribblings, staring out at the open water and the moonrise.
I like that one. I won't eat him.
I like you. I'm not going to eat you. One of my favorite moments. So you're making your way back to Marozia. Marozia, what were you doing in the meantime, as you were avoiding going near the water?
Marozia, I think was going to talk with anyone that works like the more public modes of transportation out here and see if they've seen anyone with Ludovico's description, musician. Mostly just saying that looking for a dangerous criminal thief con man.
So I feel like that's manipulation investigation or charisma investigation, one of the two, because you're,
yeah, a little bit of we'll go manipulation investigation. We'll
because versus Siraj, who is literally just looking for somebody, you're working the crowd.
Nothing.
No, it's worse than that.
Botch.
That is a botch.
Oh no.
So, as you make your way around and you are talking to people, trying to get some information, it's late in the hours of the night. Again, getting close to Louds, like 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Cool wind coming off the water. But you're inland. It's just, you can still smell it everywhere in the city. You know, it's a port city. You can still smell it anywhere. And then one by one, you begin to realize the torches around you have gone out. And then behind you, you feel the weight of someone's gaze staring at you. Are you looking for me? Darling, you didn't have to go to so much effort. I'm always happy to find you, Marozia. It's been too long. How is
Not
my
long
child
enough.
doing?
Better once you leave.
Oh, but this city is getting interesting. And you just like feel the breath along the back of your neck.
And so come the parasites.
Symbiotes, parasites. We are all bloodsuckers, Marozia. There's no need to deny what you are.
I've worked long and hard to make my position here what it is.
Ooh.
Enough for you to get over here and take it away.
Worked, did you? I mean, is that what we're calling a little deal with a demon? How much work did you really have to put in, Marozia?
I put enough work to make your interest here rather sizable, even though you had very little to do with it.
And yet you couldn't even, with the help of a demon, kill me.
Well, maybe there are some souls that are so repulsive even hell doesn't want them.
Or I'm just that much better than you are. Always was. Always will be. And I wonder how much Lord Lasombro would pay for you, delivered on a platter.
She'll like look down, but she'll look him in the eyes. I don't know. About the same for you.
But I can honestly tell him I never touched the abyss. Can you say the same? And then he will like look up and over your left shoulder and smile. You might want to think of an answer, Marozia. The children of Hakim are hunting. And he'll lean back, smirk at you, blow a kiss, and activate celerity to get the fuck out. Now,
I think under her breath she'll like any other fate is better than being in your presence. She'll spit.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, we have a question that I need to answer. Not that bad. What are your abilities and disciplines?
My disciplines are uh presence really and aspects.
Oh, so you do have aspects. That's
Yes.
good. You get to roll.
Oh, good. Oh no. Oh no.
Because otherwise you wouldn't. Um, this is what happens when you deal with certain types of clans and certain types of people. If you don't have auspex, you're fucked.
Cool. Good.
So with auspex, I need you to roll perception, awareness, and you can add your dots and auspex.
Okay. Perception and awareness. I will use a willpower.
Or no, excuse me, perception alertness, not awareness.
Alertness. Yes. Okay.
Because he technically pointed something out.
My dots, and I'll use a willpower point.
So
Put
one
willpower.
willpower, so you have one success.
Okay, let me take that off. There we go. Okay.
So you have one success.
Yeah.
You know something's in the dark. And it can see you.
You know what? Marotia's likes to, have the air of like aristocrat noble, but you know what? She's any sort of curious. She's gonna get out of there. She's gonna try and just run.
Oh, I take it celerity is going to be your friend now?
Yeah, yeah. So she's gonna try and they probably have higher select, but you know what? Well, she's not gonna stay there.
You can roll me... You can roll me Dex Athletics and add your celerity dots. To see how this goes.
Oh, she's got. You know what? I think she's also going to. She's gonna yell Siraj as loudly as she can.
Oh, so you're yelling for Siraj.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what I need you to do
I am running.
first is I need
yeah.
stamina and... Yeah, stamina and expression, or stamina and... Yeah, to stamina performance, excuse me, stamina performance. How loud are you?
Okay, yeah. I mean... Very loud.
Fuck yes, you are.
Very loud.
3 successes. Good.
She had some stage training. She knows how to make that voice like count when.
And it is kind of late at night, so
Yeah.
there should be limited. Siraj was actively looking for you, so I will say that you will hear this. Now I need you to roll that Dex Athletics, but you can add your celerity dots to see how well you do at getting away.
God damn it! That one is.
Well, it's not a botch.
Yeah, it's not a botch, but it's loud.
So you're running. Siraj has heard you. Siraj, what is your response?
I mean, I don't have super speed of any way, shape, or form, but I'm still gonna try and get towards Barotia. So, yeah, he's basically in a much more certain tone of voice than the sort of kindly lost stranger routine he had been adopting before. Tells Hecubus basically like, go in the direction of the sound now. And they start booking it. I don't have super speed or any way, shape, or form, and we are still out in public. So he's basically like going, like on his hand on his servant, like still putting on the act of like, take me there. But at the same time, taking the advantage to just be head on a swivel himself.
So roll me Dex Athletics.
Sure.
And because you don't have celerity, you can't use any celerity dots.
No. Okay, yeah, it's not going to be a great dice pool again. Do not. Wow, I never even bought a single dot of athletics. No, it makes sense. Makes sense for this guy.
Wow.
He's not, doesn't really get out of the house much. So that's just going to be 2 dice. Roll 2d10. 10. There we go. Well,
You
that's
get one success.
I think. Yeah. There
So
we go.
I think we can split the difference and have the two of you eventually meet up.
We've got a solid steady jog. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. Marozia, you can make it to Siraj. As you kind of more because Hecubus is distinctive and not quiet. As he's like trying to also still play the game of being like, yes, master left, nope, your other left, this way, and
Yes. So I keep him around.
Yes.
His commitment to the bit. That's
his commitment to the bit is unwavering, as his faith in you, and his hatred of card tricks. Before he leads you, so I love this moment of like the two of you meeting halfway in one of a small piazza in front of one of the many churches in the city. About 3/4, Marozzi, you're about 2 blocks from the shore when you kind of meet up.
He's here.
the good news. He's here. Wait, what?
He's here.
Oh, that's why we're screaming. Okay, well, which direction is he in so we can go
He
get him?
disappeared. I don't know.
Well, that's inconvenient.
I...
Okay, well, okay. So why are we? So okay, so he ran off. Good. On the plus side, I found his ship.
You found his ship.
Yes. So he's definitely. I mean, I was going to say, so he's definitely still here. But I think your proof trumps my proof. Should we just go to his ship? I mean, he can't have left already. It's right there. Or so Hecubus tells me.
We need to find him and we need to kill him.
I mean, I am not opposed to setting his boat on fire, honestly. But either way, that seems to me that would be the best place to find him, yes?
At least he won't get away that way.
Good. You seem very intense tonight. I mean, clearly you saw him. He ran off. Are you okay? Are you well?
No, I'm not.
All right. Well,
I count myself lucky that I got out. That you were here at least.
Well, I mean, I do not know how helpful, honestly, I would have been otherwise. Again, I'm not good with people.
I think he's
But
just here.
I did at least find a very friendly man at docks. Anyway, it is not that important. All I know is at least he pointed in the general direction of the ship. I assume once you see it, you'll be able to point it out. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's here to toy with me.
All right, well, let's go take care of this. That way, if we can take care of this tonight, that's 2 nights that then I have right back. It's going to be wonderful, very efficient. I hear Lord La Sombra likes efficiency. And he kind of like sort of motions in the vague direction of the docks.
And she'll say close to Siraj.
Yeah, so we're heading back towards the boats. Siraj, having seen what he saw on the I was gonna say the masthead. No, sorry, the
figurehead.
The bow, the figurehead. Thank you. You haven't seen what he saw on the figurehead. He's actually going to nudge his manservant with the intention of trying to make the approach be from that direction. And just kind of otherwise, and keeping an eye from behind his bandages on how Marozia is reacting to that.
Yeah, that's not hard because it's the front of the ship, and
right.
It's easy enough to kind of, because of where you came from and the few people on the street, Very few people on the street, in fact. There's almost no one else here. Which is slightly interesting because you heard Marozia scream.
Hmm.
But you haven't heard any of the, more heavily armed individuals that had been around the city. You don't see a lot of people out. No one else seems to have responded to Morozia's scream. But you can make your way to the front of the ship. So Morozia, as you're coming around the corner, highlighted in beautiful lanterns hanging from, the street lamp, quote-unquote street lamps, but, just giant poles with lanterns hanging from them, is a beautifully detailed rendition of you in a very diaphanous gown, very sensually looking, not sexual, but sensual. There is a distinction here, and an important one. Entirely covered. But the drape of the shawl kind of winds down both arms and then acts as like kind of restraints that pull the arms to the sides of the ship.
Mm.
And it's, your torso up, basically.
Yeah, so when she gets it within view, she'll just stop and just like just look at it for a good moment. And it's like that thing where you can see like a wellspring of rage in someone that they're trying to like. That's the look she's giving it to. Motherfucker. Now you see the person that she'll shake her head and just be like, just now you know who we're dealing with.
Mr. Rogers is still feigning ignorance, and that sure. Is this the boat? Great. Is there anybody on it? And he kind of just passes to his head, like, is it just me, or is it getting very quiet tonight? You were very good with the screams.
Marosa's gonna stop and just tilt her head. Should be louder down here.
I mean, look, the morals of men have been dropping every year, but generally speaking, a maiden cries out in the night. Usually, more than just one man comes to rescue, or at least to see what there is to see. And Suraj, as he's saying this, like kind of quietly scanning around.
So would you like to make
Of
me a
course.
perception awareness?
Yeah, let's do that. So that is
Probably
okay,
have better
cool.
then. Plus you can see
Yeah.
in the dark, so it's like sure.
Ooh.
That's
Well,
pretty
I mean,
good.
that's
Still
a bunch of
good. I mean,
successes
still
despite
good.
that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's 3
Still good.
Not a
successes.
bad roll at all.
As you look around, you realize your friend Sergio is no longer sitting on that barrel. And the, small candle he had perched next to him is still there, but it's out. And the mist is slowly rolling in a heavy marine layer coming from the water. And there's no one else around you. You, Marozia, Hecubus. But Hecubus keeps looking disconcerted. Can you hear that, Master? It sounds off. What is that? And Morozio, you would notice, for the first time ever, Hecubus starts to turn away from Siraj without leading Siraj somewhere.
I have never seen this thing before in my life. What the hell is this thing?
And Siraj, you know Hecubus.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Not of his own free will. And you don't hear anything. Like, I'm not just saying that you don't hear anything. The only sounds you hear, the only sounds you hear are the waves lapping at the ships and the dock. The creak of the shutter of wood as it rises and falls with the waves. The distant sound of church bells, but they seem muffled, heavy. And Hecubus hasn't walked away from you, but he's kind of turned away from you, if that makes sense.
All right. So look, good help is hard to find.
Well, it's what happens when you ghoul someone, but they haven't fully turned to them yet, so they still have human, certain human frailties.
Oh, exactly. So I'm going to get a little creative with this.
I love creativity.
And he and Siraj have worked for a while, so I'm going to kind of say like they kind of have a system of like when shit hit the fans, he knows what Siraj is actually capable of. Which those of us who have seen those little scenes, I don't think any of the actual player characters have seen Siraj actually kind of go all out. It's just people who have been unlucky enough to catch him in dark alleys. Just don't get into any dark alleys with Siraj, and I think you'll be happier, honestly. But Hecubus has so he knows that when shit hits the fan, get out of Siraj's way, and just let the master take care of things unless you're given orders otherwise. So they probably have like a drop signal where just Hecubus just hits the floor. Like that is the order. Hit the floor because Siraj is about to do bad things. So he's going to give him sort of that signal, the drop signal, but at the same time, since he realizes something's going on, so he's not acting normal, kind of assuming that there is some kind of manipulation. He knows who's after him. I'm going to try and effectively sort of disrupt that if possible. The idea being, I want to try and use shadow play, so with my hand on him, kind of like basically cover his face and his vision with shifting shadows that normally would give me that sort of supernatural advantage on intimidation or whatever, but kind of use that in this case to just, for lack of a better term, like give him a chance to resist again, like give him a saving throw effectively, like just try and disrupt the control enough so if nothing else, at least the drop signal gets through and he hits the floor and it's like, all right, now we can deal.
You're providing a distraction to try and draw his attention from whatever's...
Exactly. So that's what I'd like to do.
Free! I love this. I love this use of this ability.
Cool. So that's just level 1. So no die roll. It's just I have to spend a blood point, so I do so.
Blood point. Okay. Now he gets to try and resist. And I'm going to just use the standard ghoul stats. Is that fair? Yeah. Or have you given him special abilities and something?
Yeah, standard school. Stacy, he's a basic entry level, like servant. What's the name of the
Revenant or not Revenant? Renfrey.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Renfrey. Renfrey is in The Witcher.
Yeah, I know which one you mean, but yeah.
God, why can't I remember character import? Renfield.
Renfield. There we go.
Very.
I was like, Renfrey is the character. Renfrey is the poor woman in Witcher, who maybe murders somebody. Wants to murder a lot of people, but okay. So Renfield. He crit.
Look at him go. Look at him go.
3 successes. With 3 successes, he is now turning back to you, and the look on his face is shocked. Like, your shadows are a little... And even though you're not, he is... You see that look on his face that's both shock of, like, what the hell just happened? I don't know what's going on. And also, thank you?
Yeah, no, I mean, Suraj just gives him a quick nod and goes like, now don't make me repeat myself, drop.
Yep, and he's down.
Yeah, and sort of with that, now Suraj like sort of takes a slight, like he's not like fighting stance, but he's like on alert now, like whatever's going on. Like, he will sort of go to Marochi, is like, sorry, they were distracting my boy. All right?
Yes. I hate this thing, but I'd like to leave. Go home.
Well, yes, so would I, but I don't know if the current company is going to let us. And he kind of like goes like, quick question. Do you think these men are working for your ex? Is that what is happening here? Why the interest?
That would be my guess if, regardless, they're here. And I really don't want to find out.
And if you think they're going to simply let us walk away, go on, lead on.
She'll walk back. Staying really close to Siraj.
Yeah, Siraj is like, kind of like on alert waiting, but he saw like, I mean, the thought in his head is like, you've got us cornered, your move.
I think that, yeah, I think
and
that's...
otherwise, yeah. And otherwise, he's like kind of like letting Marozia kind of like, because he's like, I don't think I'm like, doing the math in his head, 90% sure they're not here for me. If they were here for him, if for the bad guy in the boat, then they'd be going for the bad guy in the boat. So math in my head, that whoever it is, probably here for Marozia. Cool. Let's see how that plays out.
So Marozia, you're walking away?
Yeah, I think they're to a less calculated thing. I think she thinks the same thing. It's just like shit. Like there's like, I'm not gonna make it back. She's gonna try. I mean, there's no other option. It's either that or the water, and you know what? That's not an option.
Speaking of that beautiful, beautiful water that you can hear lapping at the side, can I get courage, self-control roll, please, and thank you.
All right, courage, self-control. Where are we on this?
All right.
Virtues.
Yeah. Courage, self. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to use any because this is not that sort of state right now we're in.
No, and you can't use willpower on self-control.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 2 successes.
2 successes. You're not panicking. You can move.
Mm-hmm. Still panicking though.
Yeah, but you're not frozen.
Not panic. Yeah, not mechanic.
Not mechanically.
Emotionally, not great.
That's a fair and valid decision.
Yeah, many reasons, many reasons.
So, you're attempting to leave?
Yes.
How are you attempting to leave? Quickly? Slowly? Where are you going?
I think quickly. I think whatever it is has probably seen me. So you know what? Trying to act, like I'm not trying to run is beside the point. So she's gonna go. She's gonna quickly go.
So celerity. Good to know. So go ahead and give me that roll, Dex Athletics with celerity. Two successes.
There wasn't a one this time to take my successes.
Two successes. You're running, and you're gone. Siraj, what are you doing?
You know, I watch Barochi sort of roadrunner away. Boom. I mean, I'm not even going to attempt to run after her. There's no way I can keep up with supernatural speed. So, Suraj kind of just he waits. There really isn't that much because again, he had a theory like, will the the cone of silence, if you will, follow Marozia. Thus, okay, so they were after her, and jot that down into the growing mystery, or maybe I'm jumping in the water.
Nice.
So, the mists stop. Don't come any closer, but they don't get any further away. You hear sounds start to return. Your friend Sergio is still missing, but maybe he went inside. There's a couple buildings around here. It's fine. And a beat, 2, 3. Something drops next to you. A person.
Oh.
Dressed in black with a turban and headscarf. Tilts his head. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
You are not the one who opened the door.
No, but I had the misfortune of being present when it was, as was my erstwhile companion.
One of my brothers is keeping track of her.
Fair. He says, kind of tilting his head in such a manner that it does kind of let him glance up at at the figurehead on the ship again.
Mm-hmm.
If I do think I want to have a conversation with the owner of this vessel, though.
So would I. He seems very interested in her.
Again, the Suraj kind of like takes a beat, kind of like look, glances in the general direction of the figure. That is your talent for understatement is impressive.
And his talent for artistry is acceptable. But one of my brothers said you carried a box.
And not on me, not these days. But do you need access to it? I'm happy to provide whatever assistance I can. Our goal, I believe, is the same.
I wish to know who carried it last.
Well,
Before you. Do not worry.
I have excellent news on that. You already have eyes on them.
Oh.
After all, as I understand it, she was the one that opened it. Now, the story is, of course, that she did not know what was in that before opening it. She has given us no reason not to believe that. So we are operating under that assumption, of course. Then again, and again, he's like, takes a beat, looks at that figure, like, then again, well, situation might be a little bit more complicated than that, too.
Hmm. I noticed
Either
you
way,
said...
there is no love lost between the person who owns this boat and the person you have your eyes on.
I can... And using one to find the other is always a plan.
That was originally my plan. Use her to draw him out.
Hmm. They spoke briefly.
So my plan worked. I just happened to not be there. All right, slight miscalculation, but good to know.
Hmm. We'll keep our eyes on you to provide the support and care that Lord Lysandra wishes for those of his children that provides good service.
Excellent. I sincerely appreciate it. After all, this may well be my very last nights. If they are such, it's good to at least be working with the professionals. Yes.
Hmm.
In any case, he kind of goes down on one knee and like pats Hecubus on the back, like, come on, up. I think we're good for the moment.
Hmm.
Although, please, you see nothing, you hear nothing, right? And he just Hecubus kind of like just gives a nod, eyes like on the floor.
If you have need of us, give a shout.
I know you'll be listening.
Hmm. And he will jump and let you see him get to the top of one of the roofs. And you will know, right? Like, he walks along up to the pitch, and it's not until he gets beyond the pitch, which would break the line of sight anyways, that there's any attempt to hide from your presence. Right? Like, he's being not subtle.
Yeah. So Suraj appreciates it in his own way. But and again, like he just takes a moment, once again looks at the ship and like, I mean, part of me wants to just try and walk on the ship and see if he's in there, but also that would be a bad idea. They have an eye on him. If they wanted to talk to him, if it was a possibility to talk to him right now, we would be on that boat right now. But heck, we now have 2 more nights, and the problem just got more complicated. It's never easy. It's never easy. And he's just gonna kind of start. I mean, he's gonna start heading back to his own little nest. He's gonna Marozia sped off and left him behind. He's like, all right, no problems. Marozia can hopefully fast enough to take care of themselves.
Yep. Marozia, where are you headed?
I mean, she's heading home to her villa.
Can you roll me a perception awareness? Or, excuse me, perception occult.
Where's that cult? Okay. Okay.
3 successes so far.
3 successes.
As you get like 5 blocks from the water, sound begins to return. You hear the clank of spurs, the heavy boots of people in armor walking around, the sounds of the night beyond just the waves and the water the moon begins to shine just a little brighter. There's a realization that whatever was going on at the docks has stopped for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're pretty sure if someone is still following you, they don't currently have any malicious intent.
Mm-hmm. Still going to make her way back home, but now that she's kind of like the fear,
Mm-hmm.
the flight is out of her, at least to a certain degree. She kind of winces because now she realizes she left Siraj in a place where Ludovico can, similar space that they both occupy, and that's not good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she, I think, curses at herself that she didn't think about that and just ran. And now something that she thought, situation that she thought she had a little bit more control of, has kind of, she's lost that. She's let that thread go. It's gone. It's, to her, it might as well, it might as well be gone. And she'll make her way back home, like, less secure, more shaky than I think she's been in a little while, since even more so than like the day of the
Elysium.
Elysium, yeah.
You make your way at home. As you enter, there are a number of small notices kind of piled up by your door. Your servants are very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, a number of them are congratulatory. Oh, good job becoming the Harpy.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. I mean, it hasn't officially been announced, but you did stand behind the prince and acted as his hostess. So,
Mm-hmm.
Good job for you.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're gonna get, there, and some of those congratulations are very obviously false. You can just kind of, you don't even need a roll. You can kind of just feel the, like, a couple of them are like, fine.
Mm-hmm.
She's okay, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And I think Rosa and her, she just like, they might as well be not there. She just walks past them. They don't even.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't even look in the. They might as well just. They could be on different planes. You ever know? She just walks past them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she'll go in her study, and she's not gonna sit on it. She's gonna sit on like one of the the little foot cushion things, and just kind of like sit and kind of like intertwine her hands and just kind of sit, just kind of stare off, just kind of like try and let what the situation is kind of like wash over her. And hold in that panic and just kind of will herself to kind of think, what do we do now?
Can you roll me wits politics? One, two, three, four, 5 successes. So the first thing that kind of starts to, as you think about what can I do now, you kind of glance over and see those piles of letters. And the first thing that comes to your mind is, wait, I am the harpy. I do have the ear of the prince. I have power here. Now, how you choose to use that power will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say that you can hold on to 2 dice
Okay.
for when you need to make a roll.
I'm gonna need to make her roll this. This is bad now.
To convince someone, perhaps, that, you know, Ludovico is the problem and not you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can hold on to 2 dice for a defensive roll when it in a
Yeah.
political manipulation kind of situation.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in a stabby situation.
Mm-hmm. And she's hoping right now that the accusations that she put forward in other people's minds holds enough for her to actually do something in case he says his side of things. So right now, it's just her. She doesn't know what he's told anyone else, so he has to die.
And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
I do have one thing that I wanted to
Yes.
say Suresh would do
Yes.
once he gets home,
Yes.
which is first of all, I was during the break I was muttering to myself, what can I buy with my XP? And this makes sense given his recent studies. I wanted to buy the 2nd level of the little demon summoning ritual. Makes sense.
Yes.
He's been looking into demon summoning with the box and everything, so he's figured out a thing or two. So 2nd level of the little summon a
Minion.
wicked little eyeball, little minion thing. I just
yeah.
realized I am playing a summoner class without meaning to. I'm playing a pet class,
Nobody.
and so yeah. So basically, that just lets me create a little shadow spy monster thingy, but
Where's it
slightly
going?
bigger with more access. It's going to be keeping an eye on that boat. I wanted its mission is, you know, impress it with a very clear mental image of the dude, that and send it to the boat to, like, hey, as soon as you see this guy, either get on board or leave, return home and let me know. Otherwise, stay hidden, but defend yourself if found.
Good to know. I am here for this. And that's where we're going to end tonight. Because we have a spy watching a boat. We have Marozia plotting the murder of her sire.
Again, hopefully, but more successful this time.
Perhaps. The children of Hakim in the city working.
On the case.
I'm sure it will go well. But this and Tybalt playing politics.
Tybalt not having the storm that's happening on his council right now.
No idea what's happening.
Barotia, why are you acting so weird now? Or he might not notice, but it's like,
We will find out. We will find out. But thank you again for being here. Thank you to my wonderful players for being here tonight. Thank you, Pope, for pinch hitting and coming in for that little guest spot. It was really, really great.
yeah.
It made everything so much wonderful. I'm going to let my players share some love, what they enjoyed tonight, and where you can find them online, and what they're looking forward to in the finale in 2 weeks. So why don't we start with Lynn? Thank you for being here.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, this is great. This is not great for me, but I think this is fun. This is fun now that everything is like kind of like fun now for the final thing. But yeah, I'm Lynn. Gremlin Art pretty much everywhere on the socials. You can find me on like Gremlin Art pretty much now mostly on Blue Sky as long as that holds maybe. Hoping. But yeah, you can catch me next time you'll see me is on Tuesday for Shoots of Gotham, where we are a bunch of newly new to being vigilantes and in a city that has no Batman in it, and we are going to try and take down some like just like a headquarters of some smuggling smuggling operation that might have like the just it's messy, but it'll be our first really test on how well this team does. And yeah, I love Detective Siraj. Just like I like the little hints of like he's very calm, like there's very trying, but there's like I like the way that like it is kind of getting to him, like the countdown is real and it's like ever present. And I like that we're on like similar like there's a similar amount of desperation between the both of us, and it's great like seeing like how that circles each other, because I mean it's gonna have to, it's like one or the other, we'll see. And for the finale, I hope it's drama. That's all I really want out of it. Everything is like just everything is just like as wild as it can be. As wild as started with a possible explosion in Elysium, let's end it in some equally like dramatic way for the High Clan. Hopefully this doesn't put a stain on Tybalt's like reign as prince.
I'm sure that nothing will go wrong.
Your entire council is corrupt. Tybalt, what's happening?
Not his entire council.
I don't say I'm corrupt. I'm
not
just
corrupt. I mean corrupt, but
barely
like
aware I'm on it. I'm just kind of mildly surprised.
Yeah, mildly surprised.
Well, that leads us
association with
there you go. There you go. There we go. Hey Dan, how are you doing? Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. And yeah, online I am Uncivilized Dan, all together like that. On pretty much all the socials. Just like Lynn, mostly on Blue Sky these days. Because I think it's about as close as we're gonna get to what we've lost, to the glory lost. And I will next be on stream actually on my own channel here on Twitch on Tuesday. I've spent the past week or two going over the material that's been released from the Curseborn Kickstarter. Just taking a close, deep look at that and going like, are you going to be the chosen one or not? I'm not sure yet. I don't hate it, but it's very much its own thing, which is kind of what you want. You want it to be its own thing. You don't want it just to be like a World of Darkness with the serial numbers filed off, which was originally my fear. It's not perfect. It's definitely, the stuff that's been released is very much clearly a work in progress, but looking what I see. So if you're into that, Tuesday around 2 p.m. Eastern, I will be on my channel on my bullshit And otherwise, looking very much to the rest of this. As for the finale, I'm excited to watch everybody's plans go off without a hitch, and then everybody to live happily ever after. Very excited for what is probably going to be just a silky smooth finale in which everybody's carefully laid plans go off without issue. Very excited for zero surprises and just a very calm, very straightforward little session. Excited for that.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Um, but hey all, I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you again to my players, to Pope for jumping in and providing the Team Low Clan perspective on the new drama that's going on. So much drama. I am here. I may or may not be streaming during the week. It's been chaos, and my life is not as much fun, freedom as I would like. But you can, thank you again for being here. You can check out the merch store. All of the proceeds can go back into this wonderful thing. There's some very interesting stuff there. And there will be a new piece that is coming because I have planned it. I just need to get final approvals and send it in there. Now I also have a Ko-Fi. And again, everything goes back into running all of this. And the piece that I'm looking forward to most is just arrived from Amazon today.
Great.
So I have a new camera mount that's going on the monitor. So I can put up this beauty and use it to stream in, which is all thanks to you all helping and supporting and doing all those good things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I have a YouTube, and everything is in the YouTube, and all of the nice, neat, organized playlists. I need to update it. I acknowledge that, but it is neat and organized. The last few episodes are going to be going up, and well, they'll be going live hopefully tomorrow when I have time. I've been a little busy. But you should also stay tuned. Next Sunday is the finale of Sunday the 27th is the finale for Team Low Clan. Their shenaniganry is now also in Palermo, so there's lots of shenaniganry going on, and we'll see what happens with them. Then November 3rd is the finale for Team High Clan of this wonderfulness. And again, lots of things going on. Tybalt attempting to be political, Marozia trying to plot somebody's murder, Siraj trying to survive and possibly turn somebody in, and also, you know, arranging for a bunch of kind to get captured by the church and, you know, have problems. Placating the church is a thing. November 10th, we're going to have a special one-shot that will be happening, set in this universe, set in Palermo. And that's all I'm going to give you. It's all I'm going to give you. But you should come, because it'll be a one-on-one with one of my very favorite people to have across the table from me, and it will be a joy and a pleasure, and you will all have opinions after the 10th. And the 11th, November 11th, we are going to come back with, that's the other big thing that's going to be happening soon. November 11th, put it on your calendars. I do a 12-hour charity stream for Fisher House Foundation. You can see our friendly neighborhood bricks for the Fisher House Foundation. The Fisher House Foundation is a charity that provide the Fisher Houses, which provide housing and care and support for veterans and their families, while veterans and or members of their family undergo treatment and medical treatment at VA hospitals or military hospitals around the world. They are really great people. They're really, really, really helpful. And I do a big fundraiser on Veterans Day for them every year. This year is going to be even more fun because a special event is going to be happening for Fisher House streamers. and I can't talk about it yet, but I really, 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 really want to. So you should come pay attention. And I'm just gonna say, Brix is your friend. Brix is everybody's friend. See, he's a little brick house. But there's gonna be a thing that will be happening, and I can't talk about it yet, but I really want to. Hopefully later this week. But keep your eye out. I will be posting more about the charity stream and all of the fun things that we are going to be doing with that in the coming weeks. But that is where we are going to end for tonight. Thank you again all for being here. Thank you for everyone for sharing joy and fun and all of these things. And nobody I know is live, so we're just gonna end it for here tonight, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.